and Kings right here on these airwaves. And joining me now to talk about that very game from the Fan out in Milwaukee, my old stomping grounds, my old co-host, the one, the only, Steve Sparky Fifer. Spark Dog, how are you this afternoon, my friend?
Pretty excited, man. Getting ready. Head down to Fifer Forum. Got Logan in the car with me with his Jason Williams Kings jersey on and his Kings sweatpants or whatever, ready to roll.
You know,
and then I do a Bucks podcast, Green and Growing podcast. You can get it wherever podcasts are available. Talking Bucks. Nathan Marzion, who's a huge Bucks fan, he has inherited the Kings as his second favorite team. I do another podcast, Kurt and Long, talking Packer football 3 days a week with Ryan Horvath from BetMGM Tonight by the BetQL Network.
You're just here to promote
and him
your
and
stuff?
his son are now rooting for the Kings as well. In fact, he's getting his son a Sabonis jersey for Christmas.
Wow. Kings fever is running hot. And that's literally like coast to coast because you're in the Midwest. Horvath, another mutual friend of ours, he's out in D.C. That's why I got you on. Like, I could ask you about the Bucks, but Sparky, you talk Kings with me as much as anybody, and you're following this team as closely as anybody because, long story short, his stepson Logan, who we just mentioned, is in the car for some reason, adopted the Kings as his team. And when I got the job, Sparky did a deep dive on the team to help your boy get ready for the new gig here. What is this thing real with the Kings? I'm asking my guest from Milwaukee. Is this thing real with the Sacramento Kings, Sparky?
I think we need to find out, is Malik Monk real or is he a fictional superhero at this point? That's what I'd like to know. Because if Malik Monk is real, because right now he's a bad man, y'all. Bad man. If Malik Monk is real and he can give you this all year consistently off of the bench, then I think the Kings have every opportunity to be a team to contend with in the West. Not saying they're going to go win the West, but a team to contend with in the West. Where are they? They're a top 4 seed right now, aren't they? A 3 seed or 4 seed right now? So
yeah, they're the 4 seed. They're the 4 seed, but they're 2 games out from the 1 seed.
Right. So, I mean, just think about this. So they're still winning, and Red Velvet is in a slump right now. Mr. Herter's in a slump, and that's without him doing his magic. So once he gets going again and picks up the pace, I don't know if they would be active at the deadline, not active at the deadline, or what they're going to want to do. But the exciting part about this is they've done such a nice job of building this that it's not an old team. It's a young, up-and-coming team that, based on contracts for the most part, should be able to kind of stay together for a while. And, you talk about the Bucks and what they've got. No, you don't have a Giannis, obviously. I get that. But the key to the NBA and to this league is just consistency and keeping a group of guys together with some, pretty good players. You go back to the Rip Hamilton Pistons. They had some good guys on that team, but there was no dominant superstar on that team. But they kept them together, and they made that run. The Spurs, yes, you got, 3 arguable Hall of Famers, Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. But again, they were kept together for a long time. And I think that's kind of what you hope the Kings can be with Mike Brown as the coach, that it's not just this year, that 2-3 years from now, you're talking about being in the playoffs and getting on those runs like the Divac Kings used to do back in the day.
I was saying in the first segment of the show that I can look at this game from both sides of the coin with all my time in Milwaukee and now being here in Sacramento and covering the Kings. And in the past, from the Bucks side of things, you'd see the Kings on the schedule and you go, well, that's a W. And from the Kings side of it, you would look at a team like the Bucks and going to Milwaukee, especially in that game, and you look at it and you go, well, that's another L for my basketball team. Do you look at the Kings from the Bucks perspective as a team that could come in and take down the Bucks, and it wouldn't even be that much of a surprise or a shock?
Yeah, probably. But at this point, anybody the Bucks face, you just expect the Bucks to win, to be honest with you. That's kind of where they're at right now. Now that they've got Chris Middleton back, who was out most of the year. He didn't have a great shooting night the other night, but he's a couple of games back, so that helps. They still have Joel Ingles, everybody remembers, from Utah. He'll be back in sometime in January, I think. That was their big signing of the offseason. So we'll see what he adds to them. But for the most part, I think every game the Bucks think they can win. Now, like you said in years past, you didn't see a way that they could possibly lose to the Kings, even playing their entire bench. And the other night, they beat the Hornets with their entire bench. They sat like 4 of their 5 starters and still won the game. So they're kind of deep, this Bucks team is right now. But if the Kings beat the Bucks, would I be stunned? No, I don't think I would be stunned necessarily. I think the biggest issue is going to be is, how do they try and contain Giannis from going to the rim? It's a bonus to get a couple blocks here and again, but he's not exactly a rim protector by any stretch of the imagination. And that's kind of really what this Kings team really needs is Brook Lopez type center to really complete what they have.
We got about a minute left. You brought up Chris Middleton. Yeah, we got to get to Kings pregame coverage. I know. I'm sorry. We got to get to Kings pregame here. You mentioned Middleton. Is he? I know he's been back a couple of games. Are you getting a full dose of Chris Middleton tonight, or still on a minutes restriction? Really?
No. He'll play. Yeah, I mean, he'll get his 10, 12, 15 shots up, I'm assuming. Everybody looks pretty good for tonight. Wesley Matthews is out. He won't play. But everybody else should be good to go other than Ingles. Like I said, he's not coming till January, but everybody else should play. So you should get a full squad of Bucks here. No Giannis resting or anything crazy like that. So I don't know, man. I would assume this game will be somewhere in the 115s, 120s would be my guess. Unless the Bucks, play hard on defense, then maybe that's not the case. Because I'll tell you one thing, Ramie Makloff, the Bucks at moments this year have decided that they were going to play defense and just smother and lock teams down immediately. Their defense is good when they want to play the regular season, so they don't play as hard as maybe they should. But we'll see what happens tonight. And don't forget, tonight is Giannis Dad Joke Bobblehead Night.
At
Fifer.
Well, that's big for us here in Sacramento. That's Steve Sparky Fifer from The Fan in Milwaukee.
I want to light the beam bobblehead when y'all come up with that. I'm assuming that's coming at some point this year.
I'm sure there will be something, and I'll do my best to get you one. Follow him on Twitter at Sparky Radio. Thank you, Sparky. Say hi to the family for me.
Yeah, I interact with all these Kings guys, too. They probably think I'm weird from Milwaukee, but you'll be talking Kings.
You are weird. Yeah. Thanks, Spark. We'll talk again soon.
You coming to see my trees this weekend?
I gotta go, man. No, I'm not coming to see your trees. Goodbye.
Come on, man.
Me on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. You can hang up on him.